Hi, and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my friend Jennifer with us. Jennifer's a mortgage officer. We're going to talk a little bit about loans in this segment. Hey, Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So I want to start with some of the mistakes I've made in my life when it comes to mortgages. So before the show, I was joking with you. I remember being a young person out on a Sunday drive, and we pull into an open house. Jennifer, the tri-level condo was amazing. It was 3 times what I could afford. It just, I have a financial background. So when they told me the price, I knew I couldn't afford it, but I made the mistake of looking around. And then anything I saw in my price range wasn't as nice, surprisingly. Is that a common mistake people make, just not understanding how much they can borrow and overlooking at houses they can't afford like I did?
I would say most people start looking without being prepared first. Yeah, it is a mistake because then they're disappointed. Sometimes they're actually mad at their realtor or their lender because they can't get what they want. But, mortgages, it's just math. We look at your income versus your debt and we tell you what you can afford. So depending on what you make, we're going to base what you can afford. I mean, it's very simple. Nothing personal against the client. We're just looking at income, debt, and assets.
Yep.
And credit background, but it's,
Makes sense. But speaking of that, what I've seen happen is somebody's in the middle of applying for a mortgage. They go to the department store and like, hey, if you apply for a credit card today, you can save 10%. Okay. And you're like, well, I'm spending $80. That's $8. Sure, I'll do it. How's it impact on your credit score though, right?
That's a good question. So the loan officer in me wants to say, do not apply for a credit card in the middle of your loan.
Yep.
But the right answer is it depends. So basically, I would say if you have a good loan officer, you're going to be able to call that loan officer when you're shopping or right after and ask first, like, hey, do you think I qualify for this car loan? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to ruin my chances? And I would tell you, yes or no. For example, if your max budget is, say, $500,000 and you're buying that $500,000 house, you cannot apply for anything. You can't get a credit card, you can't get a car loan, you cannot get anything. However, say you're approved for $500,000 and you're buying $300,000 house. If you ask me first, I do the numbers and it works. I would say if you really need it, if it's going to benefit you, go ahead. But don't get a credit card to save that one time.
Yep.
I'm not a credit expert, but get a credit card that's going to benefit you, give you points, and have a good online system that you can pay on time, all that stuff.
So one of the things I've seen happen, I remember talking to a friend years ago. He's like, I'd really like to get a mortgage, but I can't. Why can't you? Well, 15 years ago at Christmas time, I bounced a check. I'm a dad. I had no money. I needed to buy my kids gifts. So I just brought a check to the local toy store and bounced it. So no one's ever going to give me a loan. 15 years ago, one bad check. Probably little flexibility there.
Well, there's some flexibility. I mean, even if you've had a bankruptcy, there's still a loan here for you. We do have wait periods, but really, you don't know until you apply, essentially. And every loan is different, just like every client is different. So I tailor the loan to the client. You come to me, you fill out your application. I'm going to tell you what loan option is best. You can tell me, sure, how much you want to spend, how much cash you have, but really I'm going to tailor everything to you personally. So, no matter what, you should give it a shot, and you can't go off of like Credit Karma, things like that. Those are not the end all be all. That's a common misconception. Like I have a 650 credit score, I need a 700. That's not true. We actually go to 620 credit scores. And then also, if you're not a 620, let's look at it and see how we can get you there.
Yep.
Because there is a house out there for everybody and a loan program.
That definitely makes sense because you just see people think that. Now, if I'm looking, to maybe purchase a home in the spring, should I be reaching out to you now to do all the things you just said, see what I qualify for, see if there's a way maybe between now and then I can raise my credit score by maybe taking care of some things?
I would say the sooner the better. Again, you don't know until we let you know. You might think you need more money. You might think your credit isn't where it needs to be. But I would say, for example, an FHA loan, that's better than renting, really. You can always refinance out of that FHA loan. If it gets you into the house, then you have to do what you have to do, you know? So don't wait and don't go wasting, say, your realtor's time. Talk to the lender first, and then we can tell you exactly what you can afford, and you're going to be shopping with confidence. Or if you're on that edge, any property that you like, you can send to me and I can tell you yes or no. And there you go.
Well, one thing you brought up, and I want to go back to it, is you got to understand your lifestyle. I have friends that live a very nice lifestyle, Jen. They're out every weekend, great restaurants, drinks, just, go out to eat every night of the week. So when you're looking at your mortgage, you also have to look at your lifestyle. I've had friends that, they're buying a house and I'm like, we need to talk because you live a really good lifestyle, Jennifer. You're out every night, and now you're going to have a mortgage. It's going to have an impact. You're not going to have the free cash flow that you've had in the past. And I've had people do that. And then they're sad. They're like, but Kev, I can't go out every Saturday night and spend hundreds of dollars on dinner and drinks.
That's a good point. So, just because you qualify for something doesn't mean that you should go out and spend that, go to your max budget.
Yep.
Usually I'll give clients a couple pre-approval letters, for example. So I'll give them their max, unless their max is like, I don't know, 2 million and they're looking at $500,000 houses.
Yeah.
But I'll say, hey, you can afford 600. Here are the numbers. So I'll give you your max pre-approval and I'll give you what you want, just so you can see monthly payment and cash needed for different budgets.
Yep.
And the important question is, one, what is your monthly payment budget? That's a top question. And then what is your budget for spending on the house? Meaning down payment plus closing costs. Do you have 10 grand? Do you have 20? Do you have 50? What do you think you are comfortable spending in total? Because you want to be comfortable after you're signing up for a 30-year commitment. Yeah.
Well, like I said, if that's your lifestyle, you might have to make an adjustment to it. And are you willing to do that? If not, then you're probably not that committed to buying that house, unfortunately. So Jennifer, if people have additional questions, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, you can reach me in all social media, Jen Pintos. But my phone number is 978-549-1327. On our networking group, I'm on there. My email is on there, but my email is jen.pintos@grarate.com.
Jen, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin.
See you soon. Bye now.